Chapter 1201, 1201 Large Family Recognition Scene, 4. 1201 Large Family Recognition Scene, 4. Even an outsider like me knows so much. The famous and extremely intelligent Princess Huangshi must have long known her situation. Shi Yu chuckled and said, "You must feel a sense of danger now. So, can we talk about the deal now?" Princess Huangshi stretched out her arm, indicating for the shocked Ice Phoenix to calm down. She looked at Shi Yu and Kai Tong and said, "I see. It's precisely because she's worried that her bloodline will be controlled by Queen Mother that she stripped her bloodline and molded it into a clone. Looks like you've already made sufficient preparations and understand very well, but you still don't have the confidence to resist the hidden danger of the demigod threat, so you came to me to seek cooperation." 11 and Baby Ginseng were silent. That wasn't the case. Shi Yu probably wanted to tell them in advance that he would let them clean up someone's mess after they left. Shi Yu smiled and said, "You can understand it that way, but our strength is stronger than you imagine. Perhaps we can settle everything ourselves without you needing to do anything." Huangshi looked at Shi Yu and said, "What do you want to do?" Shi Yu asked, "How far are you from the legendary level? How long do you think it will take to break through?" Huangshi said calmly, "I can break through at any time." Shi Yu was shocked. Holy shit! Damn, he instantly understood. The Empress was probably suppressing her level. Because he wasn't confident of fighting the Undying Dark Phoenix, she planned to break through when he was sufficiently prepared. After all, after breaking through, even if she didn't attack, the Undying Dark Phoenix would take the initiative to attack. Women were really ruthless. When Huangshi saw Shi Yu's calm expression change to surprise for the first time, she couldn't help but smile in her heart. So this mysterious man wasn't omniscient or omnipotent. "Sure, I underestimated you," Shi Yu said. "Then, we might be able to cooperate more happily. My goal is actually very simple. How about we join forces to overthrow the half-gods of the Phoenix Empire and the half-gods of Phoenix Island and incorporate the entire Phoenix race?" Shi Yu smiled. "At that time, you will lead the Phoenix race, and I only want a portion of the resources of the Phoenix Empire and the Phoenix race. How about that?" When Princess Huangshi saw that Shi Yu had revealed his true intentions, she was immediately speechless. So he wanted the resources of the Phoenix Empire and the Phoenix race. However, this was also the most realistic transaction. "I think your appetite is a little too big," Princess Huangshi said. Just the Queen Mother of the Phoenix Empire was a huge mountain pressing down on her head. Even if she broke through to the legendary stage now, she wasn't confident of resisting her Queen Mother. After all, her bloodline was suppressed. And if she imitated Kai Tong in front of her and stripped her bloodline, she couldn't use the power of her beast taming, so it was very unsolvable. It was even difficult to solve the current predicament, let alone the strength of the Phoenix race. Even in the entire blue planet, it was enough to be ranked at the top, the Phoenix Vermilion Bird demigod at the top. Humans have to have dreams. "We can definitely do it if we join forces," Shi Yu said. "At that time, the Phoenix race that we've incorporated will be the guardian of humans. Wouldn't everyone be happy if you established a new generation that's mainly humans after the Emperor Shi dynasty and the Emperor Wu dynasty? If you become the Empress, I won't fight with you for the throne. This should be your dream, right?" Princess Huangshi's gaze turned cold again. She felt that her entire body had been seen through by Shi Yu. If it was said that she could still understand what had happened previously, but Shi Yu actually knew the dream hidden in the depths of her heart. This really made Princess Huangshi feel incredulous. "Sister Huangshi, we're not bad people. We just want to help you." Kai Tong looked at the Empress with a sincere heart. She still wanted to watch dramas with the Empress and let the Empress personally scold the screenwriter. Princess Huangshi looked at Kai Tong in silence. "You just called me sister." However, sensing Kai Tong's sincere mental fluctuations, Princess Huangshi was slightly touched. "We can cooperate, but you have to listen to me and not act on your own," Princess Huangshi said. "Although you're very strong, I feel that your behavior is very unreliable." Shi Yu laughed and said, "Don't talk nonsense. I'm an honest person. I won't cause trouble. Princess Huangshi said, by the way, is that bird person with pretty good strength outside the Mystic Realm residence your friend? I think it's been paying attention to this place. Shiyu said, it's the son of the golden-winged rock god of the Garuda Empire, the son of a demigod. Huangshi was slightly surprised and said, looks like you have a lot of connections. Shiyu said, when I was heading here, I encountered it trying to snatch my things, so I suppressed it and kept it as bird hostage. I've already informed its demigod father to use divine-level resources to redeem it. I wonder how long it will take to send the resources over. Princess Huangshi's vision darkened and she almost fainted. Chapter 1202, 1202 Roasting Demigod Bird Wings. 1202 Roasting Demigod Bird Wings. At this moment, Huangshi wished she could kill the person in front of her with a sword. Her feeling was indeed right. The Shiyu in front of her was very unreliable. First, it said that it had fought and won against Emperor Wu, and then it said that it had held the demigod son hostage to wait for the ransom. Whether it was true or false, it showed that the person in front of him was really out of place. Is he really the son of a demigod? Golden-winged rock god, I know, the new demigod of the Minghua continent. Princess Huangshi couldn't help but say, are you sure it's being held hostage by you? You guys should be friends, right? Do you have any intention of cooperating? At a time like this, can you be more serious? Wu, the Quartz Phoenix, looked at Princess Huangshi. Princess Huangshi, who usually felt very calm, gradually became unstable in front of this mysterious young man. Shiyu said in amusement, we're really not friends. If you don't believe me, you can ask it. It's just that I've placed a death restriction on it, so it doesn't dare to run. Roar, roar, 11 said. Yee. Baby Ginseng liked it. Actually, it could too, but it was definitely not as threatening as 11's Wex mark. Princess Huangshi opened her mouth slightly. Seeing Shiyu's serious appearance, her beautiful face revealed a hint of anger. She naturally didn't doubt that Shiyu had the strength to defeat that birdman. Although it was the son of a demigod, the golden-winged bird was clearly a little lousy. But? Are you here to help me or to cause trouble for me? A demigod mother who was eyeing her covetously was enough to make her unable to breathe. In the end, the partner who had just formed an alliance brought another demigod threat. If Shiyu had brought a demigod ally, she would undoubtedly be very grateful to Shiyu, but bringing a demigod enemy. For a moment, Princess Huangshi really wanted to give Shiyu 2 punches and cut ties, although it didn't matter. At the same time, all the totem countries and human cities in the east looked at the sky in fear. Boom! A huge golden-winged divine bird with a wingspan of 100 meters was erupting with all its might and moving in a direction at a high speed. Jew! At the same time, it let out an angry cry. The demigod of the Garuda Empire, the golden-winged rock god, and the golden rock demigod. Demigod level. Which district's totem king is it? In the east, many totems and top-notch overlords looked at the figure in the sky in shock. In that direction, the Phoenix Empire. Is a war about to begin? As everyone knew, in a large district, under normal circumstances, there was only one totem half-god as the absolute juggernaut. At the moment, the totem half-god of the Donghuang continent was the sun god Phoenix, half-god of the Phoenix Empire. At this moment, this golden rock demigod had come from God knows where. It was aggressive and flew towards the Phoenix Empire's territory with strong anger, immediately waking up many lives. The golden-winged rock's cry for help was very fast. The speed at which the golden rock demigod descended was also very fast. As a new demigod of the Minghua continent, it had just advanced to a demigod not long ago and was provoked. This was undoubtedly a challenge to its authority. No matter who the other party was, it swore to make the other party pay a heavy price, a miserable price known to the world. In a short moment, the golden rock demigod crossed the sea, crossed the land, and approached the border of the Phoenix Empire. Its approach instantly made the Phoenix Guardians in the Phoenix Empire feel as if they were facing a great enemy. However, a demigod level was still a demigod level after all. In addition, the golden rock demigod was known for its speed. There were probably not many in the east who could stop it. In the depths of the Phoenix Palace, at this moment, as it sensed the demigod invader, a phoenix wrapped in the sun god exort slowly opened its eyes from its sleep. Useless thing! Just as it approached the Phoenix Empire, the Golden Rock demigod sensed the bloodline of the golden-winged little rock. The Golden Rock demigod gritted its teeth at this good-for-nothing son. However, it was its seed after all. It couldn't really ignore the other party being captured. At this moment, Princess Huangshi still couldn't believe that Shi Yu was so bold as to provoke a demigod. Because this was indeed a little unbelievable. However, it was a coincidence that the Golden Rock demigod came especially quickly. As the future empress, the current second expert of the Phoenix Empire, Princess Huangshi naturally had spies all over the country. Therefore, as the Golden Rock demigod descended into the Phoenix Empire, she was almost the first to know. Then, he looked at Shi Yu in disbelief. You? Are you really crazy? She didn't expect what Shi Yu said to come true so quickly. The enemy demigod was really here. What's wrong? Shi Yu was stunned. Princess Huangshi gritted her teeth and said, if what you said just now is true, that demigod really came to the Phoenix Empire. What? The Quartz Phoenix beside him was shocked. 11, Baby Ginseng, and the others were stunned before eager to give it a try. So fast? Shi Yu was also stunned. Then, he immediately got up and looked at the empty teacup. Looks like little Golden Rock is especially valued. It's getting late. You came at the right time. After all, I don't have much time. If I can solve it as soon as possible, I'll do it as soon as possible. Don't worry, I'll handle that golden-winged rock god well. I won't let the faction behind it become your trouble. I'll settle this matter myself. You don't have to get too involved. With that said, Shi Yu directly called 11 and the others and left the Star Palace. Only Princess Huangshi was left silent on the spot. Chapter 1203 Roasting Demigod Bird Wings, 2. 1203 Roasting Demigod Bird Wings, 2. Little sister, leave it to us. After settling everything, before Kai Tong left, it didn't forget to greet the Empress, but before it could finish speaking, it was put back into the space by Shi Yu and Baby Ginseng. What was there to talk about? Let's go fight first. Huangshi, demigod Garuda really came? He's not lying? At this moment, the Quartz Phoenix Overlord was stunned and couldn't believe it. That's right. At this moment, I'm afraid the Totem Guardians of the entire Phoenix Empire have already sensed it. Mother might also be awakened. I don't understand this guy at all. Princess Huangshi continued to grit her teeth. Is he really crazy? No, the origin of this group of people is too mysterious. We can't completely trust them. The Quartz Phoenix looked at its beast tamer and said seriously, even if that spiritual body is your bloodline relative, bloodlines are still unreliable. Moreover, he actually provoked a demigod. If it was reliable, the current demigod of the Phoenix Empire should be the person closest to the Empress, but in fact, it was the Empress's greatest enemy. But I do feel that they don't look like enemies, Huangshi said. This didn't rely on any bloodline perception, but purely the intuition of a quasi-legendary beast tamer. The future Empress was silent. No matter what, let's go take a look first. I want to see if they're crazy or if they really have some trump card. In the outside world, the golden-winged rock had waited for a long, long time. The moment the Golden Rock demigod entered the Phoenix Empire, it also sensed the bloodline power from its father and sensed the soaring aura in the distance. It couldn't help but be excited and nervous. Father, you're finally here. I've waited so long. It had just returned to its original form when a huge aura was revealed. It wanted to fly into the sky and welcome its father, but its movement stopped. Because at this moment, Shi Yu happened to come out of the mystic realm of the residence. Where are you going? Shi Yu, who came out, looked at the golden-winged rock in midair with 11 beside him. The golden-winged rock looked like it was about to cry. It looked at Shi Yu and said, Lord, have you seen Princess Huangshi? Shi Yu said, I saw it. It's indeed beautiful. The golden-winged rock was shocked and said, "How beautiful is it? What color are its wings?" "Forget it. This isn't important. Lord, my father seems to have come. It brought a ransom to redeem me. Don't hurt me." We agreed. "Wait a little longer. Wait a little longer." Shiyu chuckled and said, "I already know, but this isn't a very good trading place. Follow me. We'll welcome your father." The golden-winged rock's expression was bitter. It felt that this time, no matter the outcome, it would definitely be beaten up by its father when it returned. At this moment, because of the descent of the Golden Rock demigod, several Phoenix Guardians in the Phoenix Empire woke up from various places and flew into the sky. In an instant, the entire Phoenix Empire was enveloped in dark clouds. "Move!" However, the Golden Rock demigod ignored these guys and flew straight ahead. Facing the powerful aura of the Golden Rock demigod, these Phoenix Guardians didn't dare to forcefully stop it. Similarly, because its goal was not the Phoenix Empire, the Golden Rock demigod was unwilling to offend the Phoenix race. It only wanted to find Shiyu. It knew that the Phoenix Empire also had demigods, but as long as it was clear about this kind of thing, it believed that the demigods of the Phoenix Empire would definitely make things convenient. After all, demigods rarely made enemies easily, especially demigods with their own factions. Neither party could afford the price. "Stop!" At this moment, apart from Shiyu and Princess Huangshi, probably only the Sun God Phoenix demigod could stop the Golden Rock demigod in the Phoenix Empire. In Phoenix City, all life trembled. The hot sun in the sky was even hotter. Under the intersection of the golden light and the hot sun, in the light of the sun, an incomparably huge orange-red phoenix god swept up the sun, emitting a monstrous aura. It spread out fire patterns that filled the sky and sealed the Phoenix City. Boom! This was also the first time the Golden Rock demigod, who was close to Phoenix City, stopped in its tracks. Its sharp gaze stared intently into the city. "It's His Majesty, the Divine Phoenix." At this moment, the huge phantom of the future Dark Phoenix of the Sun Divine Phoenix lingered in the sky above Phoenix City. The lives in the city who sensed the interweaving of two huge auras trembled, not knowing what had happened. "Are there any enemies? Who's the other very terrifying aura?" Under the panic of countless people, the Golden Rock demigod also faced the Sun God Phoenix. "Your Majesty Divine Phoenix, I'm the juggernaut of the Garuda Empire. Please forgive me for disturbing you. An evil person kidnapped my son and even used its life to extort resources from me. He's in the city. Can you do me a favor and let me take him away?" A demigod had barged into its territory. The Sun God Phoenix was originally very angry and nervous, thinking that it was its sister. Seeing that it was actually a Golden Rock demigod that came from nowhere and that its goal wasn't the Phoenix Empire, it heaved a sigh of relief. The Phoenix Empire was currently in the stage of prosperity and development. At the moment, it couldn't withstand the torment. So it's the juggernaut of the Garuda Empire. I wonder who's so bold to actually dare to hold your son hostage. The Sun God Phoenix felt that it was unbelievable. Who dared to provoke a demigod and even threaten the other party to use resources to redeem him? This person was definitely not from the Phoenix Empire. Its country didn't have such a lunatic. Chapter 1204, 12.0 for Roasting Demigod Bird Wings, 3. 12.0 for Roasting Demigod Bird Wings, 3. It's not a problem to take him, but please don't fight in the Phoenix Empire. Alright, I'll definitely cut him into 1,000 pieces. The Golden Rock demigod looked in a direction angrily. In that direction, a light happened to be speeding over. It was Shiyu, who was flying in midair with psychic power, with a mini panda sitting on his shoulder, and a golden-winged rock with a bird face and a human body behind them. "Father!" At this moment, it was getting closer and closer to the Golden Rock demigod. The Golden Rock was aggrieved like a fatty weighing 20,000 pounds. It let out a miserable cry and flew towards the Golden Rock demigod. Its cry naturally became the focus. Shiyu didn't stop it from flying towards the Golden Rock demigod. He was happy the whole time. As the Golden Rock flew over, the Golden Rock demigod was furious. Useless guy, get lost, it said, immediately shocking the golden-winged rock. It flew around and didn't dare to make a sound. However, at this moment, the little rock looked at Shiyu arrogantly. Ask for it, ask for it. My father is here, but you want resources. It wasn't the only one. The sun god Phoenix and Princess Huangshi, who was in the distant residence, looked at Shiyu with dark expressions. Princess Huangshi was still all right. She already knew the cause and effect, but it was still the undying dark phoenix of the sun god Phoenix. However, this was the first time it saw Shiyu. It was stunned. Don't tell it that it was this young man in front of it who had hijacked the son of the Golden Rock demigod and even threatened it. This was 2F** King ridiculous. They're all here. Not bad. At this moment, Shiyu was flying in midair. He looked at the gathered Golden Rock demigod and sun god Phoenix and sighed in his heart. All right, there was going to be another fierce battle. He liked it. Demigod of the Garuda Empire, have you brought the divine-level resources? I've returned your son to you unscathed. Give me the resources next. Shiyu stood in the sky and said. Princess Huangshi. Sun god Phoenix. The golden-winged rock looked at Shiyu, this incurable lunatic, in shock. Did this guy not recognize the current situation? The Golden Rock demigod was also furious. It looked at Shiyu as if he was a dead person. How bold. All right, resources, right? I want to see if you're alive to take them. Jew! It roared at the sky, completely forgetting the warning of the sun god Phoenix just now, telling it not to attack in the Phoenix Empire. Its golden sharp claws emitted a dazzling light as it directly grabbed at Shiyu. At the same time, its claws enlarged, and phantoms spread, lingering with the deterrence of a demigod, as if it could crush a city. In the Golden Rock demigod's opinion, teaching such an arrogant guy a lesson was not a battle at all. Even if the opponent had top-notch totem battle power, it could suppress it in an instant and not affect the Phoenix Empire. He's already fainted from anger. The sun god Phoenix turned a blind eye when it saw this. It thought about it. If its carefully cultivated daughter was captured and used to threaten it, it would also go berserk. The sun god Phoenix looked at Shiyu and the others, who were attacking the core of the huge claw phantom, and felt that it was ridiculous. Where did this young man come from? He actually had the strength to defeat the son of a demigod and was so bold as to threaten a demigod. Young people didn't know no fear. They had a death wish. Not good. The Golden Rock half-god attacked, and Princess Huangshi's expression couldn't help but change slightly. This bastard. This was what he said? He was an honest person and wouldn't cause trouble. Ahahaha. The golden-winged little rock directly laughed crazily at this moment. After enduring the humiliation for so long, after this, it would definitely enslave Shiyu and the others for 100 years to vent the hatred in its heart. It wouldn't even be satisfied if it directly ate them. Sigh. At this moment, although the demigod's angry attack wasn't a quasi-divine skill, it was also a unique skill with the conviction to kill. However, in the face of this attack, Shiyu only sighed slightly. He knew that the Golden Rock demigod wouldn't take out divine-level resources so easily. They definitely had to fight. He could fight. However, at that time, it wasn't something a divine-level resource could solve. Apart from divine-level resources, they also had to replenish the consumption of their battle. The demigod attack attracted the attention of the entire city. Countless totem phoenixes who rushed over also looked at this attack in shock. But in the next moment, an even more shocking scene appeared. On Shiyu's shoulder, it was unknown if the speed of the small black and white bear was fast or slow. It felt very fast, but in everyone's eyes, it was very slow. Just like that, black and white electric arcs lingered around its body as it blocked the sharp claws that were enough to tear apart the totem dragon. There were no aftermath, no vibration, no sound. Time seemed to have stopped. The sun god Phoenix, Princess Huangshi, the golden-winged little rock, and the Golden Rock half-god looked at the scene in front of them in disbelief. The huge claw phantom that enveloped dozens of meters was directly blocked in the air by the small black and white bear with a finger surrounded by black and white lightning. A finger blocked the demigod's angry attack. This scene was especially shocking, simply shattering the values of countless experts. Take it away. You just ate a legendary resource. You deal with this opponent. As Shiyu finished speaking, an even more shocking scene appeared. Accompanied by the lingering black and white lightning, with a crack, the huge claw phantom seemed to have been penetrated and instantly shattered. At the same time, the energy fluctuations on the little black and white bear's body increased exponentially, and its figure was blurry. Black and white lightning intertwined, as if it was wearing lightning armor. With a boom, it turned into a black and white beam of light that hit the golden rock demigod under its incomprehensible shocked gaze. Chapter 1205, 1205 Roasting Demigod Bird Wings, 4. 1205 Roasting Demigod Bird Wings, 4. Bang! Under the vibration of a loud bang that resounded through Phoenix City, the huge golden rock demigod was directly sent flying by this beam of light. In a beautiful arc, accompanied by a miserable cry under the lightning, it was knocked out of the Phoenix Empire. Shiyu definitely couldn't fight the golden rock demigod in Phoenix City. After all, if there was a conflict, it wouldn't be good if this place was destroyed. If the dragon vein of Phoenix City was destroyed, it would be a small matter if it wasn't easy to ask for resources from the Empress. There were also many ordinary people living here, so it would be a sin if it affected them. Therefore, Shiyu directly got 11 to push the golden rock demigod out of the Phoenix Empire, planning to talk to it in the desolate land. Duling Mountain Range. At the border of the Phoenix Empire, a relatively desolate mountain range belonged to the Totem battlefield during the founding of the Phoenix Empire. Because a battle had happened before, this side was like a dead mountain. It was lifeless and without any life. Not to mention life, even undead were very few. At this moment, accompanied by a black and white lightning in the sky, a huge golden figure was pushed by the light beam and smashed into a mountain. Boom! A huge mountain was directly flattened. Everything around him instantly turned into a sea of lightning. Jew! The golden rock demigod's miserable cry continued. It hurt too much. The super explosive power brought about by the combination of transcendent inner power, thunder god armor, demon god body, super alloy, and many other top-notch super skills was not inferior to low-quality quasi-divine skills. At this moment, the golden rock demigod could be said to be completely stunned. It was speechless and didn't understand what had happened. On the other side, Shiyu was still in the sky above Phoenix City under the shocked expressions of the sun god Phoenix, the future empress, and the others. Let's go! Shiyu's voice sounded. An alternate space door appeared in front of him. It was created by Buggy and opened the spatial passage to the battlefield. Shiyu stepped in. Who are you? Before stepping in, he heard the shocked voice of the sun god Phoenix. However, at this moment, Shiyu didn't have the time to care about this. He used his psychic power to pinch the frightened golden-winged rock and left. Ah! The golden-winged little rock was completely crazy. No, father! Don't joke around with me. Spirit Capital Mountain Range. Shiyu crossed the void. At this moment, the golden-winged rock god was also roaring angrily. It flapped its wings and repelled 11. Or rather, 11 took the initiative to take a step back. Although this golden-winged rock god was very lousy and its normal energy level was only 100 million higher than the cat, far inferior to a demigod like 11 who held more than 10 super top-notch skills and had no blind spots in all aspects and mastered top-notch quasi-divine skills, every demigod had their own unique points. Unless necessary, Shiyu didn't want to force the other party. Ah, father! The golden-winged rock was captured. Looking at the miserable golden rock demigod, its expression collapsed. Woo-woo, what was going on? Now, do I have the life to take that resource? Shiyu said in midair. What a joke! Die! The golden rock half-god let out a roar that tore through the sky. Its exhaust eye flickered like the sun and moon, and its divine iron-like strong mouth emitted divine light like an iron hook. It was like the sound of laws interweaving between steel and gust, directly resounding in all directions. Although this place was already far from human habitation, it still made the transcendent life forms closest to it instantly crawl in fear. It also made the sun god Phoenix demigod and the others in the distance reveal shocked expressions and accelerate to see the situation. Quasi-divine skill. The Golden Rock demigod directly used a quasi-divine skill that contained the law of tearing and penetration to attack Shiyu and the others. Woo! Seeing that the other party was so stubborn, 11 blocked in front of the other party again. Divine power erupted, and behind its body, 10 Chaos Panda phantoms appeared. Including the main body, there were 11 Chaos Pandas. 9 Li Army. It was an army skill fused with many skills such as the Bin Bear, Impregnable, Clone, and for symbol star formation. Not only did it inherit the nature of the Bin army that could be condensed in advance, but the effect was even stronger. The 10 Chaos Bin Bear clones in front of him were clearly condensed by 11 a long time ago. At this moment, the 11 Chaos Pandas worked together to block it, forming an army resonance. It was another non-quasi-divine skill to resist a quasi-divine skill. Boom! The powerful attack of the Golden Rock demigod penetrated the huge golden light screen pushed up by 11's palm in front of him. Only a few cracks appeared and it couldn't penetrate at all. Then these cracks actually quickly repaired, shocking the Golden Rock demigod. Who exactly are you? At this moment, the Golden Rock demigod finally panicked. Quasi-divine skill was actually blocked by a normal skill. The sun god Phoenix and the other experts who rushed over also looked at this scene in the sky in shock. That's the iron-eating beast. The trump card of the legendary Emperor Wu? Like Huang Shi, the sun god Phoenix finally sensed what race 11 was. However, he still couldn't understand. Why? Who exactly were they? Are you giving me divine-level resources? Shiyu asked again. This is too much. The Golden Rock demigod roared angrily again. Its energy level began to increase steadily. Seeing this, Shiyu was helpless. 11, who had blocked the Golden Rock demigod with one hand, raised its other hand without saying a word. In his palm, a circular metal formed. The metal was black and white, one yin and one yang, one light and one dark. It was filled with two-colored lightning that fused, converted, and collided. It was extremely mysterious. Everything around it seemed to have turned into chaos, disintegrating and being obliterated. Chapter 1206, 1206 Roasting Demigod Bird Wings, 5. 1206 Roasting Demigod Bird Wings, 5. It had yet to come into contact with the Golden Rock half-god and had yet to completely take shape, but it had already triggered the sound of laws that obliterated everything. In an instant, the Golden Rock half-god bloodline trembled. The quasi-divine skill seemed to have been heavily injured and was instantly suppressed and obliterated. The pupils of the Golden Rock demigod constricted, revealing a shocked expression. Father! The golden-winged little rock was also shocked by this skill. Not to mention it, even the sun god Phoenix was instantly stunned when it sensed this skill that was even more terrifying than its quasi-divine skill. From the moment he woke up until now, he didn't know what had happened. As for Princess Huang Shi, she was also shocked when she saw Shiyu so bravely suppressing a demigod. Wasn't this guy only a level 8 beast tamer? How could it be so strong? Even a legendary beast tamer couldn't rely on a single pet to suppress a demigod, right? Even if it was a Emperor Wu, only the combination of the 9 pets could suppress a demigod. Was this Shiyu's confidence in calmly extorting demigods? Emperor Wu? I once fought him and was lucky enough to win by a move. Suddenly, Princess Huang Shi recalled what Shiyu had told her and almost blacked out again. However, at this moment, she was even more confused. This guy's goal in cooperating with her? Wait. At that moment, the most shocked was still the Golden Rock demigod. This move hitting it was definitely a huge injury. It looked at the sun god Phoenix crazily and shouted, "Your Majesty, help me!" Sun god Phoenix, what a joke! Who are you? The Golden Rock demigod? It looked at the top-notch quasi-divine skill that gradually formed but never formed in panic again. Although it had yet to take shape, it could feel the terrifying power of this skill the most. Last chance, Shi Yu said. The golden rock demigod was also about to cry. It cursed the golden-winged little rock in its heart and said, "Sir, we have no grudges. There's no need to fight to the death, right?" 3, 2, Shi Yu counted down. I don't have divine-level resources, legendary-level resources, 3 legendary-level resources. Shi Yu frowned. Seeing this, what was unbelievable to the sun god Phoenix and the others was that opposite Shi Yu, the golden rock half-god's expression kept changing as it suddenly severed its wings decisively. Boom! The huge demigod wings fell, and strong energy fluctuations lingered on them. The golden rock demigod said, "Although there are no divine-level resources, my wings can also be considered a divine-level resource. Sir, I admit defeat this time. Let's each take a step back and have a bright future. Otherwise, even if I self-destruct, I won't let you have an easy time." Not to mention the sun god Phoenix and the others, even Shi Yu was shocked. He cursed in his heart. He didn't expect the golden rock demigod to be so decisive and ruthless. Although he wasn't afraid of a demigod self-destructing and had already studied it thoroughly, he was speechless for a moment. The reason why he didn't attack immediately was that he really didn't want to fight to the death and let 11 and the others waste too much strength. After all, there were a lot of tough battles ahead. But at this moment, seeing the golden rock demigod fold its wings, Shi Yu was really impressed for a moment. This was the most decisive enemy he had ever seen. Farther, the golden-winged rock was completely stunned. Shi Yu looked at the demigod wings and calculated its value. He also sighed slightly and said, forget it. You guys can leave. Take your son and leave immediately." Jew! The golden-winged rock god looked at its unfilial son, and a furious glint flashed in its eyes. When it heard Shi Yu's words, it used energy without a word and swept the golden gust away with the golden-winged rock. It had a premonition that this was the best outcome. This human young man was very strange. He was definitely a beast tamer. He actually contracted a top-notch demigod as a pet. It couldn't guarantee that if this continued, the other party wouldn't take out other pets. If the wings were gone, it could recuperate again and grow back. If it lost its life, everything would be gone. Boom! The golden rock demigod directly took away its heir, leaving only 2 pairs of huge demigod wings. When Shi Yu saw this, he suddenly thought of something and shouted in that direction. "Wait, don't forget those 3 legendary resources." The golden light escaped even faster. The sun god Phoenix and the other phoenixes had frightened expressions. What kind of person was this? At this moment, Shi Yu was beautiful. He burst with joy as he looked at his wings and said to 11, "Good stuff. Go roast it first. I've never eaten demigod-level wings before. I can have a big meal. This isn't a loss. I have the restoration items in the future. As for wings, they're barely edible." Woo! 11 dispersed the yin-yang millstone and touched its stomach. Could this thing really be eaten? Probably. It shouldn't be inferior to the phoenix wings, right? Although we've never eaten the phoenix wings, Shi Yu said. At this moment, Shi Yu also looked at the sun god Phoenix, the future empress, and the others who had been watching just now. As Shi Yu's gaze landed, the sun god Phoenix was shocked. Panic and fear subconsciously appeared in its eyes. What was wrong with this person? What was going on? He could actually suppress a demigod, making him not hesitate to spend his wings and not be willing to continue fighting. Why had he never heard of such a monster in the East? Moreover, they still wanted to eat phoenix wings and demigod wings. What the hell? "Sir, who are you?" The sun god Phoenix couldn't help but ask, its heart thumping. She only hoped that the other party wasn't an enemy. Shi Yu chuckled and said, "Just a member of Mother Hunter." The sun god Phoenix was at a loss. "What do you mean? Why did this faction sound a little fierce?" Chapter 1207, 1207 Mother Hunting. 1207 Mother Hunting. Mother Hunter. The divine phoenix half-god might not know what it meant, but how could the future empress beside him not know? 11. Have you heard of Mother Hunter? In the face of the divine phoenix demigod's question, Princess Huangshi had mixed feelings. I've never heard of it. She just didn't know if that Shiyu had included him. At this moment, Shiyu still had plenty of energy to force the golden rock demigod back without much effort. He saw that the sun god Phoenix had also come to the wilderness and couldn't help but want to save trouble. Now, only the sun god Phoenix and Princess Huangshi followed. The other totem phoenixes were ordered by the sun god Phoenix to stay in the Phoenix Empire to guard. At this moment, he was alone. If he didn't attack now, when would he? Your Majesty Divine Phoenix. Shiyu smiled and waved his hand. It put the two pairs of huge wings of the golden rock demigod into the ruined space. Sir, what can I do for you? The voice of the sun god Phoenix was like a high and mighty empress. At this moment, it was still rather dignified. However, it also sensed that 11 was extraordinary and was very polite. Energy points, 2,980 million. The peak-level Mother Phoenix was neither strong nor weak. However, Shiyu and the others had participated in too many demigod battles. It had long been considered veterans. Let me introduce myself in detail again. My name is Shiyu, a beast tamer. It's iron-eating beast 11, my pet. Shiyu introduced himself to the sun god Phoenix. Shiyu? Good name. By the way, it's my fault for letting that huge golden bird disturb your elegance when you came to my Phoenix Empire as a guest. The sun god Phoenix was extremely apologetic. Please don't take offense. I didn't know before that it was the son of the golden bird who provoked you first. If I knew, I would definitely uphold justice for you. I've always admired a human expert like you. Why don't the Phoenix race treat you well again? My daughter, Huangshi, is similar in age to you. There must be countless topics to talk about. In addition, I wonder if you're interested in the Phoenix race. Of course, I don't mean eating. In the Empire, there are countless Phoenix divine birds with outstanding talent. If they can follow you and both parties contract, I believe they can definitely become your reliable companions. When the sun god Phoenix saw Shiyu's strength, it immediately expressed goodwill. The situation of the Phoenix Empire was still relatively stable, but the sun god Phoenix knew that they still had a huge threat, the orthodox Phoenix race of the Phoenix Island. Therefore, the Phoenix Empire needed more allies now. In short, she couldn't increase the number of enemies. Phoenix? Of course I like it very much, but forget about the contract. I already have a contract target with the bloodline of the Phoenix race. Shiyu smiled. This, the sun god Phoenix was shocked. Really? Only Phoenix Island and the Phoenix Empire had the Phoenix race bloodline. Yes, it's her. Shiyu summoned the array without another word. In the next moment, the sword maiden Kai Tong, who had a mini Phoenix clone on its shoulder, walked out of the red array. Her red hair fluttered, and her red eyes looked around calmly at the sun god Phoenix. Who? A second ago, the sun god Phoenix was still silent, worried that Shiyu was related to Phoenix Island. But in the next second, it was stunned twice. They were first stunned by Shiyu's beast-taming space level. Level 8. How did a level 8 beast tamer contract demigod-level battle power? Even if Shiyu was a level 9 legendary, it was actually a little ridiculous. This was because according to the sun god Phoenix's understanding, no legendary beast tamer had cultivated a demigod pet. Perhaps Emperor Shu, Emperor Wu, and the others had hope, but unfortunately, these people died due to various accidents before they could reach the limit of their lifespans. Therefore, a young beast tamer like Shiyu who contracted a demigod was especially unbelievable in the eyes of the sun god Phoenix. At this moment, what was even more unbelievable was that Shiyu wasn't even at the legendary level, but a level 8 beast tamer, just like its daughter. Although its daughter, Huangshi, could also contract totems above her level, that was because she was a hybrid. The bloodline of beast tamers and pets was similar. Moreover, even if she succeeded, she would only contract ordinary totem battle power above her level. Contracting a totem demigod above his level was very ridiculous in the eyes of the sun god Phoenix, a Phoenix race expert who had studied beast tamers very thoroughly. Of course, this was only a temporary shock. Then, what shocked it even more was the contracted target Shiyu summoned. Almost instantly, the divine Phoenix demigod felt its bloodline connection with it. It looked at the calm-looking spirit body sword maiden in front of it in shock and at the mini Phoenix clone on its shoulder. It suddenly said in disbelief, "You. Wait, what's going on? Your bloodline? You're 11er?" This was the name it gave Mu Huayin. The divine Phoenix half-god instantly determined that the person in front of him was the daughter, Huang Shi, who had perfectly inherited her bloodline among countless experimental subjects 1,000 years ago. When it went to find the other party's bloodline aura had clearly disappeared completely, but it didn't expect to see it again here. Although it had become a spirit body, it wouldn't feel wrong about that bloodline power. 11er, when the sun god Phoenix saw Kai Tong's state, it instantly knew that the other party's experience must be very complicated. It was understandable that he couldn't find the other party at that time. Chapter 1208 Mother Hunting Group, 2 1208 Mother Hunting Group, 2 You know each other? At this moment, Shiyu was also very surprised. Seeing that the divine Phoenix demigod was so excited, he couldn't help but ask. The divine Phoenix half-god was more than excited. It sensed Kai Tong's bloodline power that was only slightly inferior to Huang Shi and was extremely excited. If it used 11er and 11er as nutrients, both of the Shis, wouldn't it become a god 100%? Unfortunately, 11er had already been contracted by a human beast tamer, and this human was ridiculously strong. This was difficult for the divine Phoenix demigod to accept and have a headache. It's my daughter. The sun god Phoenix didn't care so much. With this relationship, even if it didn't devour its daughter, it wouldn't be a loss to establish an ally with this human expert. Daughter? Are you sure? Shiyu emphasized. The sun god Phoenix said, it should have sensed it. The power of its bloodline won't lie. Good daughter, do you remember me? It's me. Kai Tong was calm the whole time and didn't react at all. After all, it already knew the true purpose of the undying Dark Phoenix to create them. In other words, you're its mother, Shiyu said. The half-god of the divine Phoenix surrounded by the orange-red sun god Exhort nodded excitedly and said, it's my daughter that I lost 1,000 years ago. Daughter, mother has looked for you so hard. Spirit body, you actually turned into an undead. What exactly have you experienced all these years? It's my fault. The sun god Phoenix acknowledged its kin excitedly, but suddenly, it felt that something was wrong. From the moment it saw Shiyu until this moment, every word Shiyu had said quickly flashed through its mind. Daughter, mother. Shiyu, mother hunter. Who? The divine Phoenix demigod's language stopped. It looked at Shiyu and the others and blinked. What group did you just say you were? Shiyu was silent. Then, it said something that almost made the sun god Phoenix's heart explode. Shiyu grinned and said, so you're its mother. When I contracted it, I discovered something fishy about its bloodline power. This is a nutritional bloodline that can be suppressed and absorbed by a higher-level bloodline. Therefore, at that time, I felt that its parents were definitely not good people. It's precisely because of this that the Mother Hunter group was established. The goal is to help it solve its hidden danger one day. Looks like that guy is you. As Shiyu finished speaking, Kai Tong took a deep breath. Its red hair fluttered, and a red sword spirit condensed in its hand. Little Kai Tong was very emotional now. Shiyu was finally not such a guy who went around acknowledging mothers. From recognizing a mother to hunting a mother, this period represented the growth of their strength. Buzz! Kai Tong summoned the immortal slaying sword formation and locked onto the Phoenix demigod. The sword of laws vibrated. At this moment, the sun god Phoenix was completely stunned. Its entire body felt like it had fallen into an ice cave. Quasi-divine skill? Another one? Moreover, what stunned it even more was that Shiyu suddenly shouted, "Princess Huangshi, we formed an alliance just now. You're also a member of Mother Hunter. If we don't get rid of the hidden danger together now, when will we?" In the distance, Princess Huangshi was also quite shocked that her sister had actually mastered a quasi-divine skill. Was it a demigod again? Her expression turned cold as she gritted her teeth. This damn guy. She had already said not to let him mess around. He would listen to her own actions. In the end, what was going on? Why did it take action immediately after the alliance? How could it be so fast? At this moment, she could be said to be completely unprepared. Of course, the one who was least prepared at the moment, the most shocked and stunned, and the one who was shocked to the extreme was still the Divine Phoenix demigod. Its brain couldn't react for a moment. Its heart skipped a beat. Mother Hunter Group. Not only did it hunt this mother, but she was also a member of the group and its current daughter? It looked at Shiyu and the others in confusion and shock, as well as its daughter, Fengshi, whose expression suddenly changed in the distance. For a moment, what Shiyu had just said repeated endlessly in its heart. She completely didn't expect his plan to be exposed. Even his two daughters had already met in advance. What nonsense are you talking about? Elevena, don't tell me you believe his nonsense. The sun god Phoenix immediately panicked, but what made it even more panicked was that many summoning arrays suddenly appeared in all directions. Roar! The huge green dragon buggy that flew out of the array and occupied the sky had supreme might in its dragon eyes. The super battleship that looked like a city in the sky slowly revealed itself. The water slime condensed in midair enlarged infinitely, turning into a devouring demon king with its huge mouth open. There was also baby Ginseng, who walked out of the summoning array and gradually turned into a world tree. Buzz! Ling's blessing wind, Susu Sea cleansing contract, baby Ginseng's world kindness, Kai Tong's immortal slaying sword formation, 11's yin yang millstone, and the green dragon buggies for holy domain. The pressure of two faith skills immediately rose. It directly stunned the sun god Phoenix again, feeling that it was dreaming. What was going on? This guy summoned a group of something messed up. Impossible, impossible, impossible. As the sound of multiple laws resounded, the power of faith spread. The sun god Phoenix didn't even have time to determine that baby Ginseng, Kai Tong, Ling, and the others weren't demigods at all before it was suddenly stunned by this pile of laws. In the stereotype, mastering a quasi-divine skill was a demigod. Chapter 1209, 1209 Mother Hunting Group, 3. 1209 Mother Hunting Group, 3. Shiyu summoned for demigods at once. Who could withstand this? What kind of monster is this guy? The future Empress was also shocked by this shocking lineup. Seeing that the ginseng baby that defeated the Quas Phoenix had become another world tree and emitted the sound of laws, as well as seeing equally terrifying companions beside it, she almost stopped thinking. 11th! Help me! At this moment, the sun god Phoenix could be said to be completely afraid. It was a little regretful that it didn't help the Golden Rock demigod deal with Shiyu just now. If it were at that time, it could at least have gotten a demigod ally. In the end, there was only one daughter left. In fact, even this daughter might not be able to stand on its side. However, it could only give it a try now. 11th! Do you believe me or an outsider? At this moment, Princess Huangshi's expression kept changing. In the end, her aura began to climb steadily. Boom! 8 huge golden summoning arrays, representing legendary symbols, appeared around her. Just as Huangshi had said, she could break through at any time. However, she had yet to make up her mind to fall out with the sun god Phoenix. At this moment, seeing Shiyu's strong lineup, she knew that she had to express something. Ju! Apart from the future Empress, its many Overlord-level Phoenixes also broke through to the totem level the moment they descended and achieved the achievement of all totems. The Divine Phoenix demigod was shocked. Legendary level? What a joke! Who are you? However, in the face of the sun god Phoenix's request for help, the Empress said, It almost made the Divine Phoenix half-god's vision go dark and his heart attack kill him. From the day I learned of your ambition, you were no longer my mother. Moreover, when I was weak, you had never fulfilled your obligations as a mother. In the end, we mixed-blood beast tamers are only human experimental subjects you injected with the Phoenix bloodline. Divine Phoenix demigod? Our unfilial daughter. At this moment, the Divine Phoenix demigod's mentality completely collapsed. Its eyes widened, and its aura erupted. She understood what the so-called mother-hunter combination was. On the other side, it was just about to call the domestic totems to help when it suddenly realized that it was already trapped in a completely sealed barrier. The entire Du Ling mountain range was enveloped by a huge barrier. The phantoms of the green dragon, vermilion bird, black tortoise, and white tiger guarded the four directions of the barrier, extremely shocked. Happy cooperation. Shiyu retreated to the Empress's side and stood beside her with a smile. At this moment, the Empress couldn't say anything. She felt that she was completely pushed by this guy. She hoped that this guy was really a good person. In the past space and time, in the Empress dynasty, Shiyu held hands with the future Empress and directly started a mother hunt in the Du Ling mountain range. A day later, the entire Phoenix Empire was shocked. The half-god of the Divine Phoenix died, and died accidentally. Princess Huangshi, who had the most orthodox bloodline of the half-god of the Divine Phoenix, succeeded the throne and was titled Empress to take over the Phoenix Empire. For a moment, the entire Phoenix Empire fell into bad news. Countless Phoenix race members couldn't believe it, and many Phoenix race totems couldn't accept Princess Huangshi directly succeeding the throne. This was because the death of the Divine Phoenix half-god was too strange, but they were suppressed by the Empress's 8 totem-level phoenixes. The Empress directly displayed the strongest battle power of the Phoenix Empire. In addition, over the years, the Empress had also secretly cultivated her trusted aides, including the Phoenix pets beside her. They had been raised by her since she was young. Their subsequent races also directly became her help to ascend the throne. At this moment, the culprit who directly changed the Phoenix Empire's fate had already arrived at the Phoenix Empire's national treasury. Sai, you were pretty ruthless when you fought. In the end, you still couldn't bear to be ruthless. When he entered the country's mystic realm, Shiyu couldn't help but complain about the Empress. After a battle, they only killed the Divine Phoenix half-god once. After it revived through the undying fruit, just like in history, the Empress chose to seal its undead in a legendary ruin. As for the demigod corpse, it was also taken away by the Empress. As for Shiyu, he could freely take all the resources in the Phoenix Empire according to the agreement. After witnessing Shiyu's strength, it was impossible for the Empress to regret it. After all, the ones who could win this battle despite her bloodline being suppressed were mainly Shiyu and the others. This also meant that she didn't have the strength to regret it in front of Shiyu. She was forced to ascend the throne the whole time. It even made the Empress feel that she was a puppet Empress. I wonder how the mother phone that teacher cat is watching is doing. If it knew that it was being hunted jointly before it even attacked in another space-time, what would its expression be? When he entered the country, Shiyu sighed. Before he transmigrated, he sealed the undying Dark Phoenix in the original space and time and threw it to the Gem Cat to watch. After all, bringing an additional totem to transmigrate consumed more energy. He tried his best not to bring a burden. However, the undying Dark Phoenix in the original space-time was a burden, but its memories were good things. According to the memories of the undying Dark Phoenix, at this time, the Phoenix Empire had yet to fall into war all year round. Most of the resources of the Phoenix Empire were still stored in the mystic realm of the ancient capital Phoenix City and had not been transferred away by the undying Dark Phoenix. For example, the undying fruit and the sun flame flower were still here. Under normal circumstances, only the undying Dark Phoenix and its trusted aides could open the Phoenix Empire's treasury. However, Shiyu and the others had obtained the opening method from the undying Dark Phoenix in person. "All right, I'm in." Boom! Space trembled. Shiyu and the others entered the Empire mystic realm together. Woo, woo, yi. Mi aning, millimeter. Under the hard work of Shi Yu and the others, they directly entered the Phoenix Empire's national treasury at the most chaotic moment. Beside Shi Yu were hungry pets. Especially 11. It had clearly just finished eating a legendary resource, but it was still hungry after fighting 2 demigods consecutively as the main force. It wanted to see how many good things were in the Phoenix Empire's national treasury. After entering the huge national treasury, Shi Yu directly swept the entire map with his psychic power. Then, he was pleasantly surprised. 6 legendary resources, 3 sun flame flowers that contain the power of the sun. The other 3 are all heart crystals of the totem-level Phoenix race. They are respectively wind, light, and quartz. A divine-level resource is the undying fruit. It's all right, it's all right. Although there aren't many high-level resources, resources below level 8 involve various stats and types. This time, even if we only take a small portion, you can all have a full meal in the short term. It's mainly this undying fruit. After Shi Yu entered, he looked at an undying fruit sealed on a mountain in this mystic realm that was like the Phoenix Mountain range. It was the one he had eaten. Shi Yu looked at the pet beside him. I've already eaten one. This, who wants to eat it? Woo woo woo. Many pets suddenly looked at baby ginseng. Baby ginseng was stunned. It stretched out its white finger and pointed at itself. The pets nodded. A fruit that could only be used to its greatest effect after dying once. It must be a ginseng baby that could easily revive even if it died. In exchange, it just had to cook more usually. He just didn't know what baby ginseng would become after eating the undying fruit. Chapter 12:10, 12:10 When baby ginseng eats the undying fruit, 1. 12:10 When baby ginseng eats the undying fruit, 1. Ling, bring everyone to move the resources first. Remember, only take those that are useful to us. If it's not that useful, leave it for the Empress. After all, we're not bandits. In the Phoenix Empire's national treasury, Shi Yu waved his hand and had already gotten his pets to move. However, Shi Yu's words made things very difficult for everyone. The members of the team involved various stats. There was more than one rare time element pet. Basically, they could use any resource. Didn't that mean that they would all move away? Take it according to what I say. Ling sighed. This job was clearly given to it by Shi Yu. This involved a utilization rate and cost-effective ratio. Shi Yu probably couldn't be bothered to take a look or think about it. He could only let it do it. Undying fruit, take it away first. 3 sun flame flowers, 2. 3 phoenix crystals, take 1 wind element 1. Resources below the legendary level are mainly edible. The huge national treasury was reaped by Shi Yu and the others. Soon, everything Shi Yu and the others needed was packed and taken away. Shi Yu smiled and walked out of the country with a group of bandits. In midair outside, her green clothes fluttered in the wind. The Empress, who was in the air, fell silent when she saw Shi Yu come out. After Shi Yu and the others came out, they looked up at the Empress. Shi Yu scratched his cheek and said, "You're so worried about us, and you even came to supervise us amidst your busy schedule. Look, I really only took a portion." "Is this enough?" the Empress said. "You can take some more. If you only take so little, I won't inherit this country steadily." Before Shi Yu went to the national treasury, Empress Huangshi was already prepared to spend a lot. She had already forcefully convinced herself that if she didn't have Shi Yu's help and changed the dynasty herself, the Phoenix Empire's resources would only be consumed more. It could be said that she was already mentally prepared for Shi Yu to take away all the divine and legendary resources. However, to the Empress's surprise, Shi Yu still kept 3 legendary resources. He only took less than a fifth of the resources below the legendary level. Although from the perspective of an empire, this was already a very large resource, Shi Yu actually had the strength to take it all away. She was helpless to resist. It was beyond the Empress's expectations to only take so little. After all, from the start, Shi Yu had been complaining that he only wanted resources and was completely after resources. Don't think so badly of us. This is enough. You still need these resources for the next development of the Dong Huang dynasty. Shi Yu chuckled and said, moreover, after taking these resources, we won't let you suffer. Next, you'll confirm me as the diplomacy ambassador of the Dong Huang dynasty. I'll help you solve the hidden danger of the Phoenix race on Phoenix Island. How about that? These resources will be your reward. I'll try to persuade the pure-blooded Phoenix race to become Dong Huang's ally. At that time, we can avoid a battle and save a lot of resources. Woo! 11 and the others expressed that they were good people. Using these resources was purely out of helplessness. His family really couldn't afford it. These were all life-saving rice. Apart from high-level resources, low-level resources definitely didn't take any extra needles or threads. They only took what could be eaten. Shi Yu had also calculated that in the Orthodox history, when the Empress and the Undying Dark Phoenix fell out, the Undying Dark Phoenix did not leave much resources for the Empress's Dong Huang dynasty. For example, the Undying Fruit and the Sun Flame Flower had already been moved away by the Undying Dark Phoenix in advance. Low-level resources had also been consumed, most of them in the battle between the Phoenix Empire and Phoenix Island. Therefore, Shi Yu leaving these things behind was already very luxurious. It could definitely make the Empress dynasty live more comfortably than the original history. Apart from that, he happened to be going to Phoenix Island. If it went smoothly, he could also save the Empress dynasty from a battle. He wouldn't have to exhaust his luck so quickly and destroy the country. It could be said that this Empress space-time was also about to walk out of a completely different history. Impossible! At this moment, Empress Huang she already trusted and had a better impression of Shi Yu. She landed beside Shi Yu and said, even if it's her biological sister, that Phoenix Vermilion Bird demigod didn't show any mercy and exiled it out of the island. The current Phoenix Empire will definitely be a thorn in that Phoenix Vermilion Bird demigod's side. If it weren't for the special geographical location of the Phoenix Empire, which is in the center of many totem countries, Phoenix Island would have already started a war with this side. Even if it hasn't completely started a war, there have always been small-scale friction. This battle is inevitable. The conflict between pure-blooded and hybrids is impossible to mediate with the Phoenix race. Shi Yu said, don't worry. Shi Yu, stay. Let's strengthen the Dong Huang dynasty together. With you around, even if we start a war, Dong Huang won't be afraid of Phoenix Island. Fengxi looked at Shi Yu and invited, apart from this country, I can give you anything else you want. As long as this country can develop according to my wishes. Shi Yu was stunned. He shook his head and said, sorry, I previously said that I wouldn't stay here for long. However, I believe you can also manage Dong Huang well yourself. Empress Huangxi was silent. Was it still not enough? We'll help Dong Huang deal with the hidden danger of Phoenix Island. Kai Tong also wanted to help its sister, but unfortunately, they didn't have much time left in this space and time. Chapter 12:11, 12:11 When Baby Ginseng Eats the Undying Fruit, 2. 12:11 When Baby Ginseng Eats the Undying Fruit, 2. Don't worry, there's no conflict that can't be mediated. As long as everything is in place, Shi Yu said. The Empress, who? As long as your emotions are sincere and your attitude is sincere, anything is possible. Actually, Mother is right, Shi Yu said. The Empress's face darkened. Why did he call her mother more smoothly than her? Was this a Mother Hunter Beast Tamer? Do you know why the mythical era ended? Shi Yu smiled. Do you know the origin of humans and what mission they shoulder? Shi Yu smiled. At this place, he explained to the Empress the reason for the end of the mythical era. He told her about the reason why Goddess Wa brought back the human seed and wanted the world tree to nurture humans. He also told her about the time of the future mythical revival. Shocking secrets made Empress Huangxi open her mouth slightly in disbelief. She had forgotten her original goal in coming here. Therefore, humans are indeed a special race. Researching hybrids with humans might really be able to develop a path to become a god or even surpass the divine level. After all, we humans are a special race recognized by even supreme gods, Shi Yu said. It's very likely that it originated from a higher civilization in the depths of the universe. What exactly are you? The Empress wanted to ask who Shiyu was and why he knew so many unimaginable things. However, in the next moment, he was interrupted by Shiyu. Shiyu continued, therefore, the vermilion bird demigod of Phoenix Island can choose not to give face to your sister, but it has to give face to the world's will, right? To put it bluntly, the clan rules were only set by the ancestor of the Phoenix race, but even the ancestor of the Phoenix race is only a life born on Blue Planet. On a larger scale, Blue Planet's mother is the greatest. It's not too much to change the rules of the Phoenix race, right? Phoenixes are dead, but the rules of the race are alive. The Empress? She looked stunned. She kept feeling that something was wrong. However, why did Shiyu call Blue Planet Mom? They seemed to be very familiar with each other. Moreover, was it really all right for him to call her by that combination name? She raised her head slightly. The Blue Planet's will was called Heaven in ancient times. She was very afraid that a heavenly tribulation would strike down and kill Shiyu. Stop looking. The Blue Planet's will is sleeping. Let's go. I'll go to Phoenix Island myself. You stay here and deal with the mess here first, Shiyu said. With that said, Shiyu slipped away, mainly because he couldn't wait to let baby Ginseng eat the undying fruit to see the effect. Of course, although Shiyu had left, Kai Tong stayed behind to see if there was anything it could help with. Seeing that Shiyu left without any reluctance, leaving Kai Tong behind, the Empress was speechless. She looked at this sister. So, why exactly are you helping me? The Empress looked at Sword Maiden Kai Tong and felt a headache. Call me sister, Kai Tong said. The Empress was stunned and said with difficulty, all right, sister, can you tell me now? Kai Tong, guess for yourself. The Empress? Kai Tong raised its chin. Even Emperor Wu could tell, but it couldn't? No, stupid sister, guess for yourself. In the Blue Sea ruins. Shiyu and the others jogged back. At this moment, he had obtained another pile of resources. For Shiyu, training pets was the most important thing. For 11 and the others, the most important thing was to eat after the battle. The half-god of the Divine Phoenix was simply too difficult to hammer. The difficulty was even higher than Yunnan. Not only did it eat the undying fruit, but it also had a transcendent level bathing flame rebirth. 11 and the others spent a lot of effort. Wu! 11 ran to nibble on the metal. Wu ka. Buggy nibbled on the spiritual fruit. Ning! Susu looked at them speechlessly and turned into a quiet, beautiful girl. It continued to devour the power of the ocean in big mouthfuls, saving Shiyu a lot of effort. At this moment, Shiyu weighed the undying fruit and looked at baby Ginseng. He asked Ling, after this thing eats it, will it immediately break through? Ling said, no, the undying fruit isn't a strengthening type divine level resource. However, baby Ginseng is on the verge of breaking through after all. When eating it, it still needs it to suppress the increase in soul power and transform it into potential. Fortunately, its soul power isn't its outstanding point. It's fine to use it now. Baby Ginseng, did you hear that? Shiyu said. Yi woo woo woo. Baby Ginseng nodded. It wasn't a big deal, a token. Its greenwood divine body had the effect of a mutation. It had a super mutation physique. Coupled with the control of the plant, it was not a problem to perfectly absorb a divine level fruit. All right, come on then. Shiyu threw the undying fruit to baby Ginseng. Baby Ginseng didn't say a word. It enlarged its mouth and ate the undying fruit in one bite. In the next second, in order to better absorb the power of the undying fruit, baby Ginseng returned to its normal state from the form of a big white radish to the form of a huge tree. A huge cream-colored trunk, emerald green leaves, moonlight golden branches, sunlight fiery red flowers, fruits that looked like ginseng babies, decorated this complete divine tree. A grey soul halo lingered on the entire divine tree, and the entire huge tree began to slowly change. Apart from the nature of reviving dead lives into undead, the undying fruit also had the nature of strengthening soul power. These two processes were both modifications to the body. Chapter 12:12, 12:12 When baby ginseng eats the undying fruit, 3. 12:12 When baby ginseng eats the undying fruit, 3. In Shiyu's team, apart from Kai Tong and Shiyu, the other life forms didn't mainly cultivate soul power. It was the same for baby ginseng. At this moment, eating the undying fruit was undoubtedly an epic strengthening of its soul power. Yi-na! The world tree ginseng shouted, trying its best to digest the power of the undying fruit. 1 second, 2 seconds. A moment later, under the pleasantly surprised gazes of Shiyu and Ling, baby ginseng actually completed a small-scale evolution. Just like the 9-Li battle beast carving a normal inscription, it awakened a new race skill. Its form didn't change drastically. If one had to say, there was. On baby ginseng's huge normal tree, there was a pile of fruits that baby ginseng could create. Time fruit, world tree fruit. At this moment, there was another one, a grey soul fruit that looked like a honeydew. Name soul fruit. Stats, wood, undead. Level, super. Introduction: it's a fruit that can increase the soul power of the eater and repair the damage to the eater's soul. If developed to the extreme, it can allow the eater to live a second life in the form of a soul. Ling, do you sense it? Shiyu excitedly pulled Ling, who had a look of disdain beside him. It had actually awakened a supplement skill related to soul power. As the team's healer, the most powerful thing about baby ginseng was actually still healing and replenishing blood, which was to replenish life force and physical fitness. This also led to the effect being the best when it treated 11 and Buggy. When it healed Kai Tong, Ling, and Susu, the effect was inferior. It wasn't that Shiyu had never thought of replicating some supplement skills that specialized in dealing with soul power, but they were too rare. In addition, it wasn't that baby ginseng couldn't heal souls, but it wasn't as expert as repairing life. Moreover, Kai Tong had also mastered soul repair skills, so Shiyu found it troublesome and didn't look for it seriously. At the moment, baby ginseng eating the undying fruit and modifying itself through the Greenwood divine body and plant control had immediately made up for Shiyu's team's shortcomings in this aspect. No, it wasn't a shortcoming either. It was just that now, it had been strengthened even more. Moreover, the most important thing was that baby ginseng's soul fruit had inherited the final nature of the undying fruit. In the future, it had a chance of mass-producing divine-level resources like the undying fruit. Yee! Baby ginseng was excited. As expected of it. This way, the name of its previous evolution, the undying ginseng, lived up to its name. As long as it studied this skill thoroughly, it could completely have multiple modes. In its normal state, it would fight directly. If it couldn't defeat the enemy, it would self-destruct. However, baby ginseng also understood that even if it self-destructed at the demigod level, it would be very difficult to blow up that pile of monster demigods. For example, 11's transcendent level indestructible golden body, the 9-Li army, and a bunch of physique skills weren't for show. Now that 11 was facing self-destruction head-on, it wasn't afraid. It was the same even if baby ginseng broke through to a demigod. Baby ginseng could be said to not even have the confidence to heavily injure 11. However, this wasn't the first time it self-destructed. After the self-destruction ended, it revived and the undead ginseng self-destructed for the second time. Right on the heels of that, the time mark revived. Baby ginseng was another hero. This wasn't the end. At the moment, a perfect level time mark could only condense one time mark. However, a transcendent level time mark could already condense a second mark. In other words, when baby ginseng reached the demigod level and its soul fruit was maxed out, its time mark would upgrade and it could self-destruct for times in a row. Quadruple explosion! Even if it self-destructed once and didn't kill demigods at the same level, what about for times? Not to mention demigods, even if it was a primary level god, baby ginseng felt that it wasn't impossible to kill someone above its level. If he cultivated Moon Explosion, Time Mark, and Soul Fruit into quasi-divine skills and added 3 quasi-divine skills to his body, Baby Ginseng felt that the position of the strongest demigod of the Blue Sea Sprite should change hands. What was the combination of the strongest skill? Baby Ginseng was the first clear in the team. The Overlords and Totem first clear in the team were all maintained in Baby Ginseng's hands. At this moment, Baby Ginseng smiled foolishly, feeling that the divine level was also its. It had already named this combination Profundity. It was called the Death Quartet. Yeah. Baby Ginseng gave Xiaoyu and the others a thumbs up. Giving the undying fruit to it to eat was really a clear choice. Indeed. Xiaoyu was also excited. This way, I won't have to trouble Qi to transmigrate to other parallel spaces to get the undying fruit. In the future, I'll directly let you create it in batches. 11. Buggy, even Ducky, Teacher Gem Cat. When the time comes, we'll each have one. There are even more and more types of gifts for the new year. Baby Ginseng exclaimed and was completely stunned. Wait, damn it, only then did it react. The Soul Fruit was another supplement skill that the entire team could eat. Its vision darkened and it felt a little weak. Chapter 12-13, 12-13 Making Things Up, 1. 12-13 Making Things Up, 1. Xiaoyu and the others recuperated in the Phoenix Empire for a day. The resources he obtained should be eaten and drunk. He wanted to recover to his peak state as soon as possible. When it was about time, Xiaoyu and the others didn't delay. They directly headed to Phoenix Island as envoys of the Phoenix Empire. Phoenix Island was located in the southern sea area of the Donghuang continent, covering hundreds of thousands of square kilometers. Unfortunately, it had completely disappeared after the end of the Empress dynasty and was sunk by the battle between the Empress and the Phoenix race's patriarch. This time, Xiaoyu could be considered to have studied the sunken civilization on the ground. In the sky, a huge battleship flew. Xiaoyu enjoyed the beauty of the sky with 11, Buggy, Baby Ginseng, Kai Tong, Susu, Little G, Ducky, and the others. After arriving above Phoenix Island, Xiaoyu, 11, and the others looked at each other, wondering how to call the Phoenix Vermilion Bird demigod out next. Woo woo woo. 11 sensed that the natural energy here was abundant and took the initiative to volunteer. It climbed onto the railing and stood there. 11? All right. Woo. Xiaoyu signaled. 11 immediately nodded and roared down. Boom. A deafening sound immediately spread throughout the entire Phoenix Island, making many creatures look up at the sky in shock. Dark clouds instantly appeared on the island. The sky was pitch black, and black lightning was blinking. The thunder was deafening. Then, white lightning streaked across the sky again. The condensation level made the thunderclouds turn into lightning pools. The thunderclaps didn't stop, and the sky turned from dark to bright. Black and white lightning intertwined, as if doomsday had descended. The huge sound of lightning wrapped around the power of a demigod. It was as if a heavenly tribulation had descended, making all the lives on Phoenix Island look at the phenomenon condensed in the sky in horror. Where's the Phoenix race patriarch? The thunderclap turned into a mental wave that resounded in the heart of the high-level life form. Who is it? In the Phoenix race, the half-sleeping Phoenix Vermilion Bird demigod was awakened and sensed an especially terrifying demigod power. Its strength might not be inferior to it. It let out a cry and tore through the air, flying into the sky. On the island, the phoenixes at the totem level also flew into the sky together to find the source of the phenomenon. This power of lightning was too terrifying, enough to carpet bombard Phoenix Island. At that time, all lives below the totem level would probably die from the lightning. He had to figure out the source. When a totem half-god and 11 normal and top-notch totem phoenixes arrived in the sky, they were directly shocked by the scene in front of them. A black and white bear more than a meter tall was bathing in the lightning sea. It seemed to have released the lightning, but it mobilized the lightning and triggered stronger lightning in the world. It seemed to have another goal. It was eating. Many phoenixes saw that this black and white bear was devouring the natural power of lightning condensed around Devour in big mouthfuls. Among the 11 totem phoenixes, a thunder element phoenix was shocked and said, "Stop! Stop it! If this continues, the natural lightning on Phoenix Island will be eaten. At that time, Phoenix Island will become a country that loses lightning." Woo! On the other side, 11's deterrent shook the sky and earth like a thunder god. When it heard the shout from the other side, it revealed a disdainful expression and immediately stopped eating. "Petty person, what was wrong with eating some of your lightning?" This Phoenix Island was indeed a treasure land. The quality of the surrounding natural energy was very high, far exceeding any country Shiyu had been to. When 11 came, it immediately didn't want to leave. It felt that it could be full for a long time just by eating natural lightning here. The current patriarch of the Phoenix race. 11 returned to Shiyu's side and Shiyu shouted. At this moment, many Phoenixes, the current patriarch of the Phoenix race, and the sister of the undying Dark Phoenix looked at Shiyu and the others solemnly because the power 11 displayed was too strong. However, from the looks of it, that human was the leader. Shiyu faced the many Phoenixes and slowly said, "I've been jointly entrusted by the 7 gods of the Blue Planet's will, the boar god of the mythical era, Shenming, the holy divine deer, Lord Lai Shan, the demon king dragon, the eternal divine tree, and the ancient god Golden Bull to mediate the conflict between your race and the human race and take away your race's super resources." Shiyu stood on the battleship with his hands behind his back. He looked calmly at the totem half-god in front of him, the Phoenix race patriarch. 3.8 billion energy points. This was the guy with the highest normal energy value Shiyu had ever seen, even higher than 11. As expected of the Phoenix race leader who had lived for thousands of years and had always steadily suppressed the undying Dark Phoenix. At the same time, it had mastered quasi-divine skills and faith skills. It had probably eaten a lot of divine-level resources. There was even a pile for undying Dark Phoenix, so the other party definitely had more. However, no matter how impressive the other party was, Shiyu's aura was also very strong this time. Upon hearing Shiyu's words, the red divine bird was clearly stunned. Then, it revealed an extremely ridiculous expression. Ooh? It wasn't the only one. All the Phoenix race was stunned. Just the conflict between the Phoenix race and the human race? What a joke! What conflict did their Phoenix race have with humans? On Phoenix Island, the humans lived in peace and enjoyed longevity. They were the happiest batch of humans on Blue Planet. Their Phoenix race had also always been known as auspicious totems. They were loved by all races, including humans. Shiyu's entire story was nonsense. Also, take away the super resources of the Phoenix race? What a joke! How could a human like Shiyu take away something left behind by his ancestor when exploring the starry sky just like that? He was even entrusted by the Blue Planet's will, the World Tree, and the 7 gods of the mythical era. Who was this puff? Chapter 1214, 1214 Making Things Up, 2. 1214 Making Things Up, 2. Ha 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 ha. After the current patriarch of the Phoenix race, the Phoenix Vermilion Bird demigod, heard this, he even threw his head back and laughed. He was stunned by this funny joke and laughed and cursed. "Sir, you didn't come to my Phoenix race to tell a joke, right? If it weren't for the fact that the black and white bear was a demigod, they would have long attacked together. You don't believe me?" Shiyu's expression was still very calm. He closed his eyes slightly and opened them. Boom! As Shiyu opened his eyes turned emerald green. The air around him began to hum and vibrate. The almost corporeal mental fluctuations formed green ripples around him. In the next moment, Shiyu's psychic eye spun. A strong aura bloomed from his body, and with him as the center, it quickly formed a domain that enveloped the world. In the domain, the phantom of a huge tree that was infinitely tall emitted a faint golden light. It stood behind Shiyu, revealing a miracle. In the mind domain, the World Tree domain changed the form of the World Tree. After undergoing the strength and blessing of the World Tree, because Shiyu had the mind domain and had eaten the World Tree fruit, he had another ability that other blessers didn't have, which was to reveal the will of the World Tree. Although it also consumed a lot of physical strength and didn't have any battle enhancement effect, Shiyu felt that sometimes, this ability was not bad. It was equivalent to an identity verification. As the envoy of the World Tree, Yunnan and the Abyss Demon Frog could ignore him, but he, a native life form of Blue Planet, couldn't ignore it, right? The phantom of the huge World Tree that reached the sky was filled with a golden light. The light from the sky made Shiyu even more dazzling, emitting an aura that was not inferior to totems, like the juggernaut of the world. Endless light fell like a meteor shower and landed on Shiyu's body, as well as the pet bodies beside Shiyu. The power of the world in all directions submitted to Shiyu, producing a huge affinity. Shiyu glanced at it and moved. At this moment, it was as if he could obtain the favor of Blue Planet. Many totem phoenixes, at their level, could see with their own eyes that the endless power of the world acted coquettishly beside Shiyu as if they had seen their father. Shiyu, this human, seemed to be able to casually touch the laws of this world. How could this be? Many phoenixes were shocked. What was this? Boom! Under the shocked expressions of the phoenixes, the ginseng baby beside Shiyu's feet yawned and also opened its green eyes. A World Tree fruit condensed on the tip of its finger. First, it activated the favor of the quasi-divine skill world, then the World Tree fruit. Similarly, the power that represented the resistance of the World Tree spread on its body. Quasi-divine skill. The Phoenix Vermilion Bird Demigod and the phoenixes were immediately shocked. Wasn't that a ginseng baby? A trash supplement that the phoenix couldn't even be bothered to eat. However, how could a ginseng baby master a quasi-divine skill? Moreover, this quasi-divine skill could actually mobilize the power of the entire world. Isn't that the World Tree fruit? The Phoenix Vermilion Bird Demigod was shocked and saw the fruit created by baby ginseng. Perhaps the other races didn't know, but in the Phoenix race, because it originated from the mythical era like the dragons, it had a long history and had records of some rare resources. Among them, the fruit of the World Tree was one of them. Is this enough to verify my identity? Under the blessing of the World Tree, Shiyu said, this is the authentication the World Tree gave me. Seeing me is like seeing her. Apart from that, my ginseng baby has also received the blessings of the World Tree. It can be considered to have completed its evolution under the love of the World Tree and inherited the power of the World Tree. If this isn't enough and you still can't trust me. Shiyu knocked his forehead helplessly. Beside it, 11 took a step forward and revealed the might of a demigod. The quasi-divine skill entered a ready state and triggered the sound of laws. Buzz! Black and white colors lingered around it. In an instant, 2 sounds of laws vibrated and resounded through the sky. It was extremely shocking, making the 11 totem phoenixes feel an incomparably strong bloodline suppression and widen their eyes. Apart from that, this wasn't the end. The wind of luck lingered around Ling, who had turned into a battleship. The sound of laws was triggered again, 3 sounds of laws. Kai Tong, who was in the form of an energy-efficient lowly sword maiden, stretched out its finger slightly. 4 small swords lingered on its fingertip, and the 4 sounds of laws were triggered. Roar! Quack! Little G and Ducky took a step forward. The cataclysm and the heart of the abyss were directly released. It was like the sound of laws of an earthquake and a heartbeat. 5, 6. The sound of laws rose crazily and intertwined, almost collapsing the void, making the world dark. It was filled with the low whispers of gods and demons, making the Phoenix race patriarch sweat profusely and extremely shocked. The other totem phoenixes didn't even fight. Under the collective aura of Shiyu, their bodies were so weak that they couldn't move. They were completely stunned. How was this possible? They suspected that they were dreaming. Retract. Then, it was such a terrifying scene. Under Shiyu's command, the pets collectively retracted. Shiyu said, "This way, can you believe my identity? Don't tell me you think that apart from the envoys of the World Tree and the humans chosen by the gods, there are other humans who can nurture so many terrifying pets and obtain the certification of the world's will?" "All right, my patience has reached its limit," Shiyu said. Chapter 12:15, 1215 Making Things Up, 3. 1215 Making Things Up, 3. I couldn't confirm your identity just now. I was rude. Please forgive me. Opposite Xiyu, the Phoenix race patriarch directly restrained her aura and said in shock with rapid breathing. At this moment, it completely believed it. After all, this ridiculous lineup really made it very difficult for it not to believe. The other totem phoenixes were also shocked. The envoy of the World Tree had come looking for them. What was wrong with their Phoenix race? With such a terrifying lineup, at least 6 quasi-divine skills were enough to easily destroy the Phoenix race. Moreover, there were also a few harmless-looking pets that didn't show their strength at all. It's all right. It's normal not to believe it easily. The World Tree only shared her power with me because it considered the specialness of this identity, Xiyu said. Since you believe it now, you can sit down and talk. I'm here for a total of 2 things. The Phoenix race's patriarch was silent. She looked at Xiyu and said, Lord Envoy, we are helpless in your request. There are indeed super divine resources in the Phoenix race, but we can't take them out at all. Moreover, I wonder what's the use of this resource, Lord. Xiyu said, I know. But this resource is very important. It's an item Lord World Tree specified to obtain. In the mythical era, the 3 cosmic races invaded Blue Planet. Countless gods died in battle, and Blue Planet shattered. Although we finally won, those invading races weren't completely destroyed. Instead, they escaped back to the starry sky. At that time, Blue Planet was no longer suitable for gods to live in, so under Blue Planet's suggestion, they went to the starry sky to find a new home. Apart from that, they had another mission, which was to go deep into the universe and investigate those invaders. The super divine resources brought back by your race are very likely to be an important item and some kind of news. Therefore, this thing is very likely to affect the future, life, and death of Blue Planet. This is also why the World Tree asked me to take it away. The Phoenix race's patriarch and a bunch of totem phoenixes listened to Xiyu in a daze. Xiyu was not done speaking. The future of Blue Planet is filled with misfortune. That divine-level phoenix that returned from the starry sky and brought back super divine resources is actually not the first god to bring the resources of the outside world back to Blue Planet. Long before it, Goddess Wa, who was also a top-notch god and supreme god spirit like the ancestral dragon and the origin phoenix, brought back another resource. It's called human. Humans, a large race in the starry sky of the universe, aren't native life forms of Blue Planet. However, later on, they were modified by the World Tree and became a member of Blue Planet. Human beast tamers are jointly regarded by many gods and even the World Tree as the hope of Blue Planet life forms to break through and surpass the divine level. This is also why she chose me as an envoy. My other quests this time are to pass this news to the leader of the human race and a leader of a large race like the Phoenix race. This is also convenient and better to welcome the future calamity of Blue Planet. I know that the Phoenix race has always treated humans well. This might also be because your ancestors received instructions from the World Tree. Don't worry, I'm prepared. I heard that the super resources brought back by that senior Phoenix divine spirit are in a ruin and have set restrictions. Only those that contain the Phoenix bloodline can explore. Apart from that, it's difficult to take away that resource with the power of a demigod alone. This is indeed not easy. Therefore, after receiving the order from the World Tree, I made targeted preparations. I've long contracted a pet with the Phoenix bloodline in the outside world. We can work together to try to crack the ruins. If it can't be cracked, forget it. Perhaps the time hasn't come yet. Only when the mythical era descends again and breaks through to the divine level will there be hope. If it's successfully cracked, I can learn what information that Senior brought back earlier and make targeted preparations. Please assist me, especially you, the current patriarch of the Phoenix race. At this moment, the Phoenix race, who had learned many secrets from Xiyu, was completely stunned. Even the Vermilion Bird demigod had never learned so much explosive information at once. However, throughout the whole process, Shiyu's pets were very silent. Was this the power of transmigrating to the past and getting bad information? They almost believed it. Even with Ling's top-notch intelligence, it couldn't analyze anything wrong for a moment. This, the Phoenix race was also deceived by Shiyu's extremely complete statement. A pet with the bloodline of the Phoenix race? The Phoenix race's patriarch, the sister of the undying Dark Phoenix, had a surprised expression. Yes. Shiyu looked at Kai Tong. At this moment, the lowly Kai Tong had dispersed the immortal slaying swords, and the Phoenix clone slowly condensed on the tip of its finger. The power of his bloodline erupted. The powerful Phoenix bloodline from a demigod directly made all the Phoenixes present widen their eyes. Among them, the Phoenix race's patriarch, the sister of the undying Dark Phoenix, was even suddenly stunned. She looked at the spiritual body Kai Tong in disbelief and said, "This bloodline, is the Phoenix bloodline entrusted to humans?" Then, it almost exploded. "Calm down!" Shiyu shouted. "Have you forgotten what I just said? I still have another goal, which is to mediate the conflict between you and humans. This conflict also includes the conflict between the pure-blooded Phoenix and the mixed-blood Phoenix. Human hybrids are also a testable path discussed by all races and the World Tree back then. However, this path is very difficult. The Phoenix race didn't try it first, but it was carried out by the dragons with more domineering bloodlines first. Human and Phoenix hybrids have never been rejected by the Phoenix race. Your clan rules should have been updated long ago." Chapter 1216 Making Things Up, 4. 1216 Making Things Up, 4. The Phoenix race's patriarch and a group of totem phoenixes were in disbelief. The reason why I contracted it is also because it's a hybrid of a human and a phoenix. It was Lord World Tree who told me its location and thought that it had the potential to surpass the divine level. This is the advantage brought by the hybrid. Of course, hybrids are dangerous. The chances of success are less. It's also right for the Phoenix race not to try easily. However, there's no need to treat successful cases as heretics and kill them all. Unfortunately, Lord World Tree sleeps all year round. It can only completely awaken after the mythical revival. Otherwise, with its guidance, the rules of the various races on Blue Planet wouldn't be so chaotic. Shiyu sighed. Impossible, at this moment, when it heard Shiyu say that the ancestor of the Phoenix race supported hybrids, the Phoenix Vermilion Bird demigod had a look of disbelief. Impossible. Could it be that sister? Shiyu said, "Your sister is indeed wrong. It took the wrong path. It's completely the right thing for you to stop it. Its goal in nurturing hybrid humans is to use them as nutrients. They belong to the category of siblings killing each other. Its methods are harmful to the world, and it's easy to go berserk. The most harmonious path is still for human beast tamers to sign an equal contract with the Phoenix race to grow together and help together. Mixed blood is just another extreme path, and your sister is even more extreme. However, when its crazy method was only carried out halfway, it indeed cultivated two talented hybrids. One is the spirit body in front of you, and the other is Princess Huangshi of the Phoenix Empire. You've seen my sister? The Phoenix race patriarch was stunned. Not only have I seen it, but I've also helped its daughter, the hybrid beast tamer, Princess Huangshi, overthrow it. Its path isn't recognized by the World Tree, and it's easy to lead the Phoenix race and humans to destruction. On the other hand, Patriarch, you're highly trusted by the World Tree. This time, I came because I hope that you can hold hands with the Phoenix race and the human countries that Princess Huangshi is about to establish to develop in harmony and form an alliance, Shiyu said. Humans have to cooperate with all races sooner or later. It's the trend. As for Princess Huangshi, as a human with the Phoenix bloodline, I think she's a very good support target for the Phoenix race. The expression of the Phoenix race's patriarch changed. She felt that it was unbelievable. She felt that what she had learned today was very dreamy. If this were said by others, it definitely wouldn't believe it. However, it couldn't not believe Shiyu, this World Tree envoy. In the end, the Phoenix Race Patriarch was silent for a long time before looking at Shi Yu and Kai Tong. Kai Tong in front of him indeed had terrifying talent and had actually mastered a quasi-divine skill. After all, in the thousands of years, only it and its sister had cultivated a quasi-divine skill, and both parties had used it for a long time. This hybrid didn't look very old at all. Could it be that hybrids really had such a huge advantage? How do I assist you? The Phoenix Race Patriarch said. Shi Yu said, it's very simple. Although it has already mastered a quasi-divine skill, it's actually only at the Overlord level. The mythical race at the Overlord level still has very powerful potential. At the moment, it's already on the verge of breaking through and can break through at any time. If it breaks through, it'll be a demigod. I plan to let it gather you, Patriarch, and your sister's forte to complete the breakthrough. Then, with my support, there will be a high chance of opening the super divine ruins. The Phoenix Race Patriarch was in disbelief again. An Overlord could master a quasi-divine skill? Was this the strength of the World Tree Envoy? If it weren't for the gift of the World's Will, it couldn't imagine how a life form could touch the laws of the planet at the Overlord level. All right. I can assist you. The Phoenix Race Patriarch thought for a long time and finally made up her mind. At the same time, Shi Yu felt strange. That was it? He didn't expect that he was quite talented. With a round of poof, he made the Phoenix Race Patriarch take the initiative to offer super divine resources, and even take the initiative to help nurture Kai Tong. Not bad. He felt that in the future, relying on a fixed template, he seemed to be able to deceive the resources of other large races. It was not good to fight and kill. Using information to exchange for resources was beneficial to both parties. It was just that it might be easy to get beaten up by the World Tree after learning about it. I wonder if my current strength can defeat the World Tree. Shi Yu fell into deep thought. He still felt that it was difficult. As the true strongest demigod, he felt that the World Tree had at least dozens of quasi-divine skills. Chapter 1217, 1217 Demigod Level Vermilion Bird Sword Maiden, 1. 1217 Demigod Level Vermilion Bird Sword Maiden, 1. We can assist you in trying to crack the super divine ruins. However, what's the specific method? The Phoenix Race Patriarch stared at Shi Yu and the others on the battleship in silence. This super divine ruin had already made the Phoenix race consume a lot of strength. It was useless even if they threw it. It already believed Shi Yu's watertight words. He also felt that it was more valuable to let Shi Yu and the others crack the ruins and take out key information that affected the survival of Blue Planet. As the envoy of the World Tree, there should be something unique about it that could crack ruins that others couldn't, right? As for the specific method, before cracking the ruins, I want it to evolve and break through to its strongest state. At the moment, not only has it perfectly inherited the power of the sun god Phoenix, but it has also walked its own path and mastered a sword-type quasi-divine skill. For the sake of success rate, I also want its clone to walk the same path as you, Patriarch, and become a quasi-vermilion bird. This way, the power of the Phoenix, the divine power of the sword skill, and the power of faith, together with the power of humans, can definitely have the battle power of a god. According to the deduction results of the Phoenix race, with divine-level battle power, you can crack this ruin, right? Shi Yu said. What? Many Phoenix totems were shocked. So Shi Yu had gotten the Patriarch to help him cultivate with this idea. Vermilion Bird Evolution Method. When the Phoenix Race Patriarch heard that, her red eyes flickered. I see. Unfortunately, I can't help you with this. Evolution into Quasi-Vermilion Bird. I also don't have a systematic evolution plan because of many coincidences. Oh? Although Shi Yu and the others felt that it was a pity, they also felt that it was normal. It's also within my expectations, Shi Yu said. All right then, but there were always more ways than difficult. Shi Yu said, you don't have to worry about that. I'm the envoy of the World Tree and have the fruit of the World Tree. You should know the effect of the World Tree, right? It can increase comprehension and learning ability. Patriarch, you only need to showcase the Vermilion Bird Faith skill you have mastered and give me a legendary feather that contains your own spiritual power and the power of the Vermilion Bird Faith. We can deduce the Vermilion Bird path ourselves. The Phoenix Race Patriarch was stunned. Are you sure? What a joke! How could it be so easy to evolve into a Vermilion Bird? It felt that Xiaoyu and the others might fail at this step. Feel free to help. I'll think of a way, Xiaoyu said. The Phoenix Patriarch's expression calmed down. After thinking about it again and again, she finally nodded. In that case, it wanted to see how the other party could evolve into a Vermilion Bird by observing faith skills and a Vermilion Bird feather. Sure. The red divine bird that the Phoenix worshipped immediately took out a feather. In the next moment, the Vermilion Bird Divine Fire was lit on the red feather. Name of Vermilion Bird Divine Fire. Stats, Exhort. Level, Super. Introduction, it's a faith skill. The divine fire formed by burning the power of faith can even burn the laws of the planet. Boom! The divine fire was ignited. In an instant, it was as if a sun had fallen above Xiaoyu and the others' heads. The season instantly changed from winter to summer, and the temperature changed greatly. The blue sky and white clouds instantly turned into red clouds because of the appearance of this palm-sized bird-shaped divine fire. This small bird-shaped fire was especially powerful. Under Xiaoyu's perception, the threat level even exceeded some quasi-divine skills. The Phoenix race leader in front of it had mastered quasi-divine skills and faith skills at the same time. It could be said that it was indeed ridiculously strong. It was no wonder that the undying Dark Phoenix couldn't defeat it, and it was also sad that the Empress could only perish with it. Xiaoyu sighed. The enemies faced by legendary emperors like Dong Huang were really not simple. Yunnan was a cosmic life form with a quasi-divine skill. The Phoenix race's patriarch had mastered the Vermilion Bird Faith skill and a quasi-divine skill. They were not what ordinary demigods could compare to. How is it? At this moment, using the Vermilion Bird Divine Fire, the dignified queen's voice of the Phoenix race's patriarch sounded. Xiaoyu in front of him was indeed powerful. He had contracted a bunch of pets who had mastered quasi-divine skills. If it fought Xiaoyu, it would also have a headache. However, the Phoenix Patriarch was certain that in a one-on-one situation, it was invincible. Because it was the Vermilion Bird Faith God. It had the backing of the entire Phoenix nation. Under the enhancement of countless power of faith, its Vermilion Bird Divine Fire could even burn the laws of divine skills. Not bad. Xiaoyu revealed a satisfied expression. Unfortunately, the Phoenix race's patriarch only mastered one faith skill, the Vermilion Bird Divine Fire. Unlike Buggy, who had two faith skills the moment it evolved, and one of them had even been fused into a top-notch faith skill like the Green Dragon Indestructible Body. 11. Xiaoyu gave the order. 11 flew out electromagnetically. As the Phoenix Patriarch was stunned, it directly pinched the bird-shaped Vermilion Bird Divine Fire in its hand. Boom! Under the hot temperature, 11 was excited. What a strong flame! Even with the transcendent leaving gold battle body, indestructible golden body, and molten gold skill, its exhort resistance was extremely high. It felt the damage. If such a strong flame was used to temper the body, the effect would definitely be very good. He hoped that Kai Tong's sister would learn it quickly. At that time, Buggy's Dragon Star Meteorite would train its fist, and Kai Tong's Vermilion Bird Divine Fire would train its body. Perfect! Impossible! Seeing 11 pinch the Vermilion Bird Divine Fire, the Phoenix race patriarch said in disbelief. The other totem phoenixes were also shocked. They could sense that the iron-eating beast in front of them was a metal element creature. Chapter 1218, 1218 Demigod Level Vermilion Bird Sword Maiden, 2. 1218 Demigod Level Vermilion Bird Sword Maiden, 2. However, a metal element life form countered by fire could actually hold a fire faith skill. The Phoenix Patriarch couldn't understand. Even if this Vermilion Bird Divine Fire only fused a trace of faith power to avoid wasting the power of faith, even the most basic vermilion bird divine fire could easily kill a totem. At this moment, it was actually being played with by a metal element creature. It has loved to play with fire since it was young. Its exhaust resistance is pretty good, Shiyu said. Accompanied by Kai Tong, Shiyu took a few steps forward and turned into a red-haired Kai Tong. He took the vermilion bird feather that had its faith extinguished. Recording successful. Shiyu directly replicated the vermilion bird divine fire skill. No matter what kind of coincidence it was his in the next second. Many phoenixes looked at Shiyu, who was holding the vermilion bird feather, in disbelief. Then, let's try to break through and evolve first. It won't be long before we return. Please wait patiently. The red-haired and red-eyed Shiyu smiled. Right on the heels of that, the entire sky darkened. As a green silkworm on the battleship leaped up and jumped into the sky, with a boom, starlight flickered. Roar! In the dragon roar and green-gold light, its huge body was displayed. Under the starry sky, the green dragon faith god that looked like a dragon with two golden horns on its head and was covered in green scales descended directly. Its eyes and tail seemed to be burning with the fire of golden spirit faith. The group of Phoenix race members was shocked again. Just now, Shiyu's group of pets had displayed quasi-divine skills. It was extremely spectacular, but among them, the green silkworm and the water slime were only watching from the side. They were originally curious about who these two were. At this moment, as the Phoenix race patriarch spoke in disbelief, all the Phoenixes were stunned and understood its identity. Green Dragon, the Phoenix race patriarch said in disbelief. She sensed the vast power of faith from Buggy, who was also an evolver of the Four Saints. In terms of faith, the other party might have evolved even further than her. The Phoenixes saw Shiyu and a bunch of pets boarding the Green Dragon from the battleship. The huge battleship also turned into a Rubik's Cube and landed on Shiyu. Their goal was the starry sky. He was going to the starry sky to evolve and break through. Boom! Its dragon body swayed, and Buggy looked at the starry sky. Its entire body was quickly wrapped in golden light as it rushed out of Blue Planet. Patriarch many Phoenix race members looked at the vermilion bird demigod. The Phoenix race patriarch was silent, sensing Shiyu's horror again. This World Tree envoy was simply a monster. Every contracted creature under him was extremely ridiculous. Was it true that humans were the supreme race brought back by a top-notch god from the starry sky? It looked at the starry sky. In the end, the Phoenix vermilion bird wings spread out and let out a long cry before flying into the starry sky too. I'll go take a look. As Buggy flew into the starry sky, Shiyu planned the subsequent breakthrough evolution. At the moment, although Shiyu had replicated the vermilion bird divine fire, he couldn't teach it to Kai Tong yet. The skill compatibility wasn't enough. The current Kai Tong wasn't a god of faith in the starry sky yet. It couldn't learn faith skills at all. However, Shiyu believed that it would be done soon. Wait a minute, after arriving at the starry sky, let Kai Tong turn some of the undead imprisoned in the undead space into nutrients to break through and grow first through the spirit release skill. It could easily break through to the totem level. Right on the heels of that, after reaching the totem level, Kai Tong had the ability to optimize its bloodline race. At that time, even without using evolution skills, the totem creatures could perfect their race and evolve themselves. Of course, for ordinary totems, this process was extremely long. If totem-level life forms were regarded as students and evolution as a research topic, then it was rare for 1 in a million students to study this research topic thoroughly. There was a difference in the learning ability of every life form. Just like giving a knowledge domain, no matter how hard one studied, they couldn't get started. Some people could easily study a domain to the extreme and create a new domain. The difference between a genius and a mortal spirit would increase after the totem level. Kai Tong's aptitude was clearly already considered a little genius. In addition to the cheat, the World Tree fruit, it should be able to progress very smoothly on the path of totem-level self-optimization of its race. Although it was more difficult to evolve into a vermilion bird, Shiyu wasn't the only cheat that could assist it. There was also buggies for holy clones that could assist it in mobilizing the power of faith of the vermilion bird to perfect its race. There was also Ling's blessing wind. It could increase Kai Tong's luck and let it find a shortcut to evolution as soon as possible. With so much help, it ensured that Kai Tong could complete its evolution like the Phoenix clan leader. Could it be that these things couldn't compare to the opportunity of the Phoenix race's patriarch? Moreover, there was no need for perfect evolution. After slightly optimizing its bloodline, Kai Tong could increase its compatibility with the vermilion bird divine fire. At that time, through Shiyu's additional points, it could absorb the skill EXP of the vermilion bird divine fire. It shouldn't be a problem for its clone to evolve into a vermilion bird. Perhaps it could even stand on the shoulder of the Phoenix race's patriarch and walk further than it. In the incomparably vast starry sky, in the vast universe where the sun could be seen at a glance, the green dragon brought Shiyu and the others up and left the restraints of Blue Planet. Chapter 1219, 1219 Demigod Level Vermilion Bird Sword Maiden, 3. 1219 Demigod Level Vermilion Bird Sword Maiden, 3. Roar! In the starry sky, the green dragon roared. The moment they entered the starry sky, apart from Buggy, Shiyu, and the others more or less felt some suppression. This suppression would become stronger and stronger as they left the planet and went deeper into the starry sky. Generally speaking, only cosmic life forms could move relatively freely outside the planet. If it were other races, they would be like fish out of water. They would feel very uncomfortable. This suppression was also the reason why some gods on Blue Planet didn't have the ability to sail far. Unless they could optimize their bloodlines and modify themselves into a cosmic race. However, there was still the same problem. Not every life form had the aptitude to complete their evolution. However, although it couldn't survive in the universe for a long time, at Shiyu and the others' level, it was still not a problem to stay for a few hours. This period of time was enough. Kai Tong. After flying to the starry sky, Shiyu called out. Kai Tong, who was in the energy-efficient form beside him, nodded and returned to its growth form. Sword Maiden Kai Tong, who was wearing silver-white armor and had red hair draped over her shoulders, directly summoned the sun god Phoenix clone. Then I'll go. Kai Tong turned around and looked at Shiyu with its red eyes. Shiyu nodded. Ju. Tilde. Then, the orange-red sun god Phoenix clone flew out under the illumination of the sun. Fire spiritual aura lingered on Kai Tong's body, and it directly changed from Buggy to the Phoenix clone. Woo woo woo. Roar. Yi. Nink. All the best. 11 and the others cheered for Kai Tong. Kai Tong nodded heavily and rode the Phoenix clone away from Shiyu and the others. During this process, the fire power on its body was even stronger. The power on the Phoenix clone was Sun Flame, the Sun God Fire Exhort, and the power that had been stripped away by Kai Tong. However, she could still control it, and her own flames were the flames of life, flames that belonged to her. Under the lingering of the double flames, the Yun clan totem undead imprisoned by Kai Tong in its undead space burned one after another, turning into spirit release nutrients that assisted Kai Tong in breaking through, leaving only the Abyss Demon Frog, a demigod puppet. Soul aura that filled the sky surged and lingered around Kai Tong and the Phoenix clone, causing their joint aura to increase steadily. Apart from that, Kai Tong also used the World Tree fruits prepared in advance by Baby Ginseng and the Sun Flame flowers plundered from the Phoenix Empire's national treasury. Under the enhancement of many resources, its original 300 million normal energy points began to take a qualitative leap. It began to break through. Strength turned into life source. 1 billion. 2 billion. 2.5 billion. 3 billion. Soon, Kai Tong's normal energy level also exceeded the 3 billion mark. Without a doubt, once it broke through, it would be at the demigod level. This time, Shiyu was most concerned about the change in Kai Tong's spirit-released skill. The proficient level, expert level, and perfect level spirit release allowed Kai Tong to have the bird spirit form, Phoenix spirit form, and sword maiden form. Then what about the transcendent level spirit release this time? Shiyu and Kai Tong didn't know, but soon they knew. They saw the red breakthrough light become stronger and stronger. The flames that filled the sky seemed to have wrapped them into a huge fireball that reflected the starry sky. This is, when the Phoenix Patriarch also flew into the starry sky, she immediately saw the scene in front of her. This is, when the Phoenix Patriarch also flew into the starry sky, she immediately saw the scene in front of her. On Blue Planet. At this moment, any life form that looked up could also discover that two suns seemed to have appeared in the sky. This special phenomenon directly confused and shocked many lives. Shiyu and the others on the Green Dragon were stunned before immediately reacting. The transcendent level spirit release directly made Kai Tong's bloodline form return to the essence power of the sun god Phoenix, the power of the sun. At this moment, Kai Tong seemed to have obtained the true body of the sun and could freely transform into the form of the sun. However, this was not a skill. Just like the previous flame of regeneration and the flame of restoration, it was just a derived form of spirit release to increase proficiency. In this state, it would be even easier for Kai Tong to mobilize the power of the sun. Boom! In an instant, the light of the sun swept in all directions. In the incomparably dazzling hot sun, a figure with surging sword intent and an aura that pierced through the starry sky walked out. It was Sword Maiden Kai Tong. She was still beautiful, and her figure was even more dazzling in the sun. At this moment, Kai Tong had already completed its breakthrough, but it had yet to complete its evolution. After looking at Shiyu and the others through the starry sky, Shiyu and Buggy's mouths curled up and they smiled. Buggy, I'll leave the rest to you. Roar! Under Buggy's roar, it directly activated the 4 Holy Clone skill. One round of the 4 Holy Vermilion Bird clones, which was originally created with Kai Tong as the prototype, mobilized the power of faith from the Vermilion Bird faith items collected by Shiyu and the others to help Kai Tong undergo the awakening purification. Kai Tong was also trying its best to use the power of faith of the Vermilion Bird to optimize the bloodline of its Phoenix clone. This is... The Phoenix Race Patriarch, who had followed, couldn't help but be stunned when he saw the huge Vermilion Bird phantom flying behind Kai Tong and mobilizing the power of faith to help it modify its bloodline. It suddenly looked at the 10,000-meter-long Green Dragon. Why could this Green Dragon even mobilize the power of faith of the Vermilion Bird? This didn't make sense. Moreover, my Vermilion Bird feather, the Phoenix Race Patriarch suddenly realized that the current Kai Tong was already disintegrating its Vermilion Bird feather. It seemed to be really as Shiyu had said. They were simulating the evolution path of the Vermilion Bird through deduction. Chapter 1220 Demigod Level Vermilion Bird Sword Maiden, 4. 1220 Demigod Level Vermilion Bird Sword Maiden, 4. How is it? Ling asked beside Shiyu. On the Green Dragon, Shiyu, who had red hair and red eyes and was still in the possession state of the Sword Spirit clone, chuckled and said, "It's even smoother than your deduction." In just an instant, the Vermilion Bird Divine Fire is in a teachable state. Ling, great, this way, we might be able to walk an evolution path more perfect than the Phoenix Race's Patriarch. Yeah. Shiyu stretched out his palm and faced Kai Tong from afar. He entered a mental resonant state and closed his eyes slightly. Then, right on the heels of that, he seemed to have entered a dark world. In this world, only he and Kai Tong were back to back, sticking closely to each other. As he was in the state of clone possession and mental resonance, Shiyu directly added points from afar and imparted the skill EXP of the Vermilion Bird Divine Fire to Kai Tong in the optimization race. In the next moment, scarlet light also lingered on Shiyu's body. In the distance, the fire of spirit faith ignited in Kai Tong's mind. With a boom, an even stronger light bloomed from her body. The sun phantom was even larger and more dazzling, covering everything about them. During this process, the Phoenix Race's Patriarch sensed the gradually growing power of its sister's mixed-blood daughter in confusion the whole time. It felt that it was getting closer and closer to the orthodox Vermilion Bird. In fact, it would soon surpass him. Jew! The Vermilion Bird Divine Fire that filled the sky lingered in the sun phantom. A Vermilion Bird seemed to have really been slowly born inside, shocking the Phoenix clan leader's jaw. that was its vermilion bird divine fire? Why? It had only been a few minutes since they flew into the starry sky. In these few minutes, a life form directly completed its evolution towards the vermilion bird and completed the path it successfully walked under countless opportunities. This, it couldn't accept. Finally, the gathering of the power of faith and the vermilion bird divine fire perfected the last body of the vermilion bird constellation. Accompanied by a sparrow cry that resounded through the starry sky, its body completely formed under the red evolution light. The phoenix derived the power of the vermilion bird, and the red starlight that filled the sky turned into a parasol tree. The vermilion bird that came out of the morning sun spread its wings and flew from its habitat state. Its body was covered in the vermilion bird divine fire and finally burned. Its vigorous life force was as vast as the sun. It was in the form of a divine bird completely made of fire. It was wearing a golden fire feather coat, like an elemental life form, like a divine transformation of fire. It flew out of the hot sun. On its body stood a woman with red hair draped over her shoulders and agile eyes. She was also wearing a fire feather shirt. It was Kai Tong. At this moment, Shiyu was very excited. It was completed. Her main body maintained the form of a sword maiden. With the for immortal slaying swords in hand, she transformed into the evolved vermilion bird form and formed the super divine mode of the vermilion bird sword maiden. This wave was invincible. Ling, record the analysis skill. At this moment, although Shiyu was immersed in Kai Tong's evolution, he didn't forget to share the information with Ling. In this evolution, Kai Tong had learned a total of 3 skills. Shiyu felt that it was simply ridiculous. After all, Buggy had only awakened 2 faith skills when it evolved through the Green Dragon domain. Of course, one of them was replicated by Kai Tong. The first was that the vermilion bird divine fire had successfully turned into a racial skill during Kai Tong's evolution. The second was an undead skill. Name soul guiding. Attributes, undead. Level, super. Introduction, consuming the power of faith can allow the believer's soul to not be destroyed after death and undergo soul reincarnation. Shiyu didn't know how to evaluate this skill. There were actually very few lives with reincarnation abilities, and Kai Tong's ridiculous thing was that its faith skill could allow believers to reincarnate. Buggy's green dragon indestructible body only used the power of faith to reincarnate and revive itself. In the pre-Qin era, the vermilion bird was thought to be able to guide the souls of the dead to rise in the sky and was related to the soul. Could it be that Kai Tong's spiritual body form happened to match some requests? The third skill. Name Sun True Body. Stats, Exhort. Level, Super. Introduction, it can burn the power of faith and turn itself into a sun, burning everything, reflecting the starry sky and burning stars. And the skill that Shiyu felt was the most ridiculous was still the third. This should be the vermilion bird faith skill awakened by Kai Tong's by combining its race and the power of faith. It should be considered a high-level faith skill of the vermilion bird divine fire. The vermilion bird divine fire was only the combination of normal fire and the power of faith, but the sun true body was the combination of the sun god exhort and the power of faith. Its power was even stronger. It was a faith skill that could destroy stars when trained to the extreme. Just like the Dragon Star group, it could directly devour a planet into the sun. At this moment, Kai Tong's attributes were quite perfect. Not only did its main body master the quasi-divine sword skill, but its clone also mastered 3 faith skills. The combination of the two made its energy level increase steadily to 3.53 billion. It had already exceeded 11, who had just broken through, but after the current 11 swallowed Yunnan and ate a pile of resources, its normal energy level had long been even more ridiculous. Kai Tong had yet to completely catch up. Kai Tong! In the starry sky, Shiyu condensed his mental strength and shouted. Kai Tong, who was opposite him, directly absorbed the vermilion bird clone into its body, like a 9 heavens goddess who had descended from the starry sky, leaning towards Shiyu and the others. She smiled. Kai Tong felt that it might be able to keep defending the championship in the team. Susu and Ling definitely couldn't defeat her. Woo! 11 and the other sensed Kai Tong's current state and were indeed shocked and envious. They felt that even if Kai Tong didn't possess Shi Yu, it could still pose a strong threat to them.